Good morning, Unity community. I am your host, Janet Law, and it is our pleasure to welcome you to our weekly gathering here at the Unity Center. We warmly welcome all people, all faiths, and all lifestyles. Unity takes pride in acknowledging that we gather on the ancestral and unceded territory lands of the Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh peoples, who have lived here since time immemorial. And it is here that we come together, learn, grow, and deepen in spirit. Whether you're here in the sanctuary today or tuning in via YouTube or Zoom, we are so glad that you could make it. We have some great music, we get a meditation, and an inspiring talk that will deepen your wisdom and keep your spirits high all week. At Unity, our mission could not be more clear. So together at Unity, we enhance personal and community well-being through universal spiritual teachings and practices. And now, as we come fully into this moment, I invite you to join me in the opening invocation. All together now. There is one presence and one power, active in the universe and in my life, God the good, omnipotent. And now please join us in singing this morning the wonderful song by Daniel Nahmod, When I Pray.
1, 2, 3. When I pray, I feel my heart go deeper, my heart go deeper into my God. When I pray, I feel my heart go deeper, my heart go deeper into my God. Pray, I feel my soul go deeper, my soul go deeper into my God. When I pray, I feel my soul go deeper, my soul go deeper into my God. Right here, right now, my God.
Thank you, Linda and Brenda. And today's Unity Daily Word is for July 6th, possibilities. I open my mind to limitless possibilities. There are limits to what my mind can imagine. I may find a challenge too big to overcome or too complex to work through. In the past, I might have avoided such challenges, but today I turn within for guidance. Within my inner sanctuary, I find infinite possibilities. For God, nothing is or ever could be impossible. As a spiritual being, I open my mind so these possibilities can enter my imagination. With spiritual sight, I begin to apprehend what is possible. I emerge from my prayer time filled with inspiration and clarity, ready to take the steps necessary to make my vision a reality. I return again to the limitless field of infinite potential where I can claim divine ideas and know the presence and the power of God in and through me and through all things. From Luke 1:37, for nothing will be impossible with God. So today's message is about understanding the seventh of Unity 12 powers, and how once we were fully on the path of awakening, there is no going back. How's that for a challenge today? So this morning, let's meet the challenge and greet Patricia with the following 5 affirmations. All together now. As I seek understanding, life unfolds with perfect timing, confirming my spiritual progress is unstoppable. As my wisdom deepens, fear dissolves because I now see love beneath all forms, and this profound knowing changes everything. My deepening understanding allows me to embrace both joy and challenge, knowing they are both enabling my enlightenment. Having tasted spiritual understanding, superficial explanations no longer satisfy. I am now drawn only toward what is truly transformative. I am no longer bound by false and limiting beliefs, because the power of understanding automatically aligns my heart and soul with divine truth. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And so it is. And now it is my pleasure to welcome back Reverend Patricia Zogar, a friend, a mentor, and a Unity teacher and minister that has shown so much compassion and love and peace in the world. She most recently taught in Victoria, Winnipeg, and Kamloops, and most recently at Unity of Vancouver Island, where she served as the senior minister. We know her as Patricia, and of course, many of you may know her as the Rappin' Reverend, and you may hear a little more about that today. Please join me in giving it up for a Unity welcome. Let's hear it for Reverend Patricia Zogar.
Thank you. It's great to be back. And thank you for making time to come here on such a nice day. So, we begin, I believe, with a meditation. And for our meditation this morning, I'd like to begin by sharing with you an excerpt from Khalil Gibran's The Prophet. Many of you may know that book. So I invite you just to allow your physical body to relax in the chair and just turn your attention and intention to that spiritual part of yourself, that part that transcends the physical. And I'm going to read you this excerpt, and then we'll sit quietly while you contemplate for just a few minutes. Like the ocean is your God self. It remains forever undefiled. And like the ether, it lifts but the winged. Even like the sun is your God self. It knows not the ways of the mole, nor seeks it the holes of serpent. But your God self dwells not alone in your being. Much in you is still man, and much in you is not yet man, but a shapeless pygmy that walks asleep in the mist, searching for its own awakening. And of the man in you I now speak, for it is he and not your God self, nor the pygmy in the mist, that knows crime and punishment of crime. Oftentimes have I heard you speak of one who commits a wrong, as though he were not one of you, but a stranger unto you, and an intruder upon your world. But I say that even as the holy and the righteous cannot rise beyond the highest which is in each one of you, so the wicked and the weak cannot fall lower than the lowest which is in you also. And as a single leaf turns not yellow, but with the silent knowledge of the whole tree, so the wrongdoer cannot do wrong without the hidden will of you all. Like a procession you walk together towards your God self. You are the way and the wayfarers. And when one of you falls down, he falls for those behind him, a caution against the stumbling stone. Aye, and he falls for those ahead of him, who, though faster and surer of foot, yet removed not the stumbling stone. In this moment, we pause and call upon our spiritual gift of divine understanding for insights into our daily journey. When not sure of the path to take, which decision to make, or what words to say, we allow spiritual understanding to guide our hearts and minds. Understanding takes us to deeper levels of compassion, non-judgment, and connection to others. We use the faculty of understanding to see beyond human appearances and into the light of truth. Remembering that when our understanding is developed in both head and feet, not only will we have the light in mind, but we will also have the ability to apply it in our world. And I'm going to read an affirmation now, which I'll ask you to repeat with me as we come back to time and place. With spiritual understanding, I see myself and others with compassion. Together, with spiritual understanding, I see myself and others with compassion. And now another song.
Words are flowing out like endless rain into a paper cup. They slither while they pass away across the universe. Pools of sorrow, waves of joy are drifting through my open mind, possessing and caressing me. Jagaru Deva. Nothing's gonna change my world. 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 Images of broken light which dance before me like a million eyes. They call me on and on across the universe. Thoughts meander like a restless wind inside a letterbox. They tumble blindly as they make their way across the universe. Jagaru Deva. Nothing's gonna change my world. 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 Shades of laughter, sounds of life are ringing through my open ears, exciting and inviting me. Limitless, undying love which shines around me like a million suns and calls me on and on across the universe. Jagaru Deva. Nothing's gonna change my world. 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 Jagaru Deva. Jagaru Deva. Jagaru Deva.
So, happy July. The unity power for the month of July is understanding. The awakening of our own faculty of understanding starts with questioning. Questioning our old ways of thinking. That's nothing new, is it? We do that all the time, right? Charles Fillmore writes, understanding is different from wisdom. He defines wisdom as intuitive knowing, and understanding is the ability of the mind to apprehend and realize the laws of thought and the relation of ideas to one another. To put it more simply, wisdom knows, understanding knows why. And he says, when your understanding is developed in both head and feet, not only will you have the light in mind, but you will also have the ability to apply it in your world. And there's lots of things in our world these days that are difficult to understand, aren't they? Ever feel like Dorothy saying to Toto, "We're not in Kansas anymore"? Things are changing very quickly. Back in the day, the 60s, the 70s, pretty well any decade before this one, things changed a little bit. You know, there was a new model of car came out every year, and there were new songs on the hit parade, and the Conservatives got elected, and then the Liberals got elected, and then the Conservatives got elected, and then the Liberals got elected, and then NDP waxed and waned, and everything just pretty well went on as the way it went, right? There were fashion trends, but they came and went. Things are very difficult now, and it's not just the past COVID thing, it's technology that is moving so fast, nobody can keep up with it. It's politics that's so radicalized and polarized. It's climate change, it's conspiracy theories and debunking. It's science versus pseudoscience versus science fiction versus just plain fiction versus lies. It's not knowing who or what to believe. Yes? There's a lot of not understanding in our world today, and a lot of misunderstanding in our world today. But there's also an increasing awareness. A lot of people waking up, and we're trying to wake other people up, right? There are millions of people involved in peace movements, millions involved in social justice movements, demanding an end to racism, war, and hunger. And many of us are saying, we can be better than this. And we must be better than this. And we need to create a better future by increasing our understanding. So there are also many other people out there in the world who are refusing to wake up. They're just staying right there in Kansas and pretending it all hasn't been blown away by a tornado. On the surface of things, Dorothy, you remember Dorothy, right? In the end of the story, she clicks her heels and goes happily ever after back to Kansas. We can't do that. For us, there is no going back. Once we're awakened, we can never go back to sleep. We can never unknow what we know. Some of us say, "Aw, shucks," sometimes. We know about the super rich, maintaining their super richness at the cost of millions of lives to starvation and war. We know about racial injustices and cultural genocide. We know about the hate that is being justified in the name of religion. Some people attribute those things to some grand conspiracy theory. Some people attribute them to an inherent human greed and selfishness. And we might attribute that to just plain ignorance. I don't mean ignorance in the way of being rude. I mean ignorance in the way of just not knowing any better. But whatever the cause, there is the frustration of not knowing what we can do about it, isn't there? It seems like the deck is stacked in favor of the rich and powerful. It seems sometimes like we're wasting our time trying to make a change. And it seems like perhaps the human animal really is greedy and stupid. But we don't think so, do we? I don't think so. Unity doesn't think so. Unity teaches that we are all manifestations of the one perfect good life. that we're inherently of God, like God, made in the image and likeness, and made of God's stuff. Therefore, what we are naturally is goodness, beauty, love. What is showing up in our world right now is false beliefs and ideas made real by our belief in them. Fears that have covered up our knowing, that have caused us as a civilization to forget our truth about who we are. So we know the power of our word, our affirmation, our intention, and our prayer. So what went wrong? Why is there so much greed, so much suffering, so much fear? You may have heard me say this before. I've said it many times. I believe that there is one thing that underlies all of the problems that we experience today. And that one thing is a belief in separation. A belief that no man is an island. A belief that there's only so much to go around. It's over there, and if I want mine, I have to go get it. I might have to take it from someone. I might have to take it from you. I'm separate from you, and therefore you might want to hurt me, so I have to protect myself from you. A belief that we're different, and you might want to harm me. And my belief that we are all separate from each other, from our supply, from our source, which is God. Most people in the world believe that, and we don't. There's a line from a play I had the privilege of performing a few years ago called Grace and Glory, and Grace is a dying, elderly West Virginia hillbilly, and she's knitting a sweater, and it's for her great niece. And she says, maybe it's like this sweater, the way everything in this whole world is, connected. You see, each stitch in this sweater, they ain't much by themselves, but you break even one, and the whole sweater falls apart. You break even one of us, and it all falls apart. We are all manifestations of the divine life. We're all bits of God. And God is incomplete without every one of us. Every single stitch. God is incomplete without you. If any one of ourselves is withholding our heart, our love, our kindness, our service, God can't show up. Isn't evident in our experience. I've been reading a lot of blogs and posts about the way things are today. And there's so many spiritual leaders and civic leaders and shamans and just plain wise old birds saying the same thing, that the work must be done by each of us as individuals. This is the time to wake up and speak up. It's the time to vote. It's the time to look after yourself, heal yourself, and fortify yourself. Not to look after yourself in a physical way like going to the spa and making yourself pretty. To fortify yourself spiritually, to heal yourself spiritually, to look after yourself spiritually. And the reason that we need to do that is so that when the time comes to do something, when we see what it is we can do, when the opportunity arises, we will have the strength and the courage to do it. Grace goes on. Now, I might not know what my life's been for, but I do know that God put me on this earth for a reason, and even if it's only like a stitch in the middle of this sweater, to hold on with one hand to the stitch that comes before me, and with the other hand to the stitch that comes after. Even if that was all I was put here to do, that's a mighty important thing. And that makes me a mighty important person. And each and every one of us is a mighty important person. Mighty important. Everything we do is important. Every little change we can make is important. Are you open to changing your thinking, to understanding, as Charles Fillmore said, to understanding, to open your heart, to re-examine those beliefs we've held, We may not even know. I mean, we work on this consciously in Unity, don't we? All those beliefs and ideas that were planted in our heads as kids by parents, by governments, by teachers, by advertising. Are you willing to really look and see if there's any of those that don't really ring true for you, but you're still letting them operate in your life? Everything we say to each other, to our brothers and sisters, even especially to those we don't like, those who are our enemies, those who are politically disillusioned, all of that is important. Because even when diseases like COVID-19 have been eliminated, even after our current challenges have been met, even after the economy is back to normal, we won't be able to click our heels and go back to Kansas or to go back to the 1960s. Would that we could. We are evolving as a society and individuals. Some of us at a much faster pace than others, I think. You may be familiar with Ken Wilber, who teaches integral theory, and he's developed something that he calls, it's a sort of a synthesis of all human knowledge and experience, and he calls this spiral dynamics. And one thing essentially is that our evolution is taking place not in a linear fashion, but that it circles around. History repeats itself. We keep coming up against the same challenges in our life. People die. We start new relationships. Relationships end. Children move out. Children come back. We lose a job, we get a job. We keep addressing the same challenges in our lives over and over. But he postulates that in coming back in circles, we're spiraling up and dealing with those things from a higher perspective each time. And that's how we evolve. And like Charles Fillmore, who assigned colors to the candles and the months, he assigned colors to his levels of his spiral dynamic. And there's seven levels in 3 tiers. At the lowest level, he assigns the color of beige, and I can see that perfectly well, because the lowest level is life is survival. And there are many people, an increasing number of people, surprisingly, in our world, who are operating at the level of survival due to the wars going on now. More and more people are being pushed back to just surviving. So that level is mud. That's the only color I think that would be better than beige, mud. The next level is purple. That's when we're in the lap of the gods. Everything is up to the whim of the gods. It's all good or bad luck, nothing I can do about it. This is what God says to me. Then there's red. Red is possibly the birth of the ego. We first begin to, and the ego gets a bad rap sometimes. We need ego to function on the physical level. We do. It allows us to know who we are, but it also can get in our way. And so, of course, life is a battleground at the red level. And then blue is a little bit like purple. Life is God's will and law, but we introduce a level of choice here. We choose whether to follow God's law or whether we're just at the effect of it. And of course, this is your fundamentalist of every religious persuasion. We get to the level of orange, and this is where most of our world is living these days. The orange level is the level where life is all about what we have and accomplish. That's what life is all about. And most of the people outside there, that's where they're living, isn't it? It's all about their stuff. You get up to the final tier, and we come into the green level. At green, life is community and precious. And so I know we're all green here. Absolutely, that's what we're about. Community, life is precious. We might just have a foot or two back in the orange a little bit. We might still be a little bit concerned with our stuff. But essentially, the heart of us, the core of us, is open. We're involved in community. But there are a couple of levels that are even higher than that. Yellow, life is learning and continual change. Now, sometimes we got our foot up there too, haven't we? When we can adapt to change and learn from it, our evolution slides up a level. And then there's one more level above that. Life is an evolving, interactive whole at the turquoise level. And sometimes I even peek up to that one, sometimes. I think I spend most of my life mostly in the green level, but I do get up into turquoise and up into yellow every once in a while. And of course, we all have elements of all of these levels in us at all time. That's what evolution is. Where are we sliding along? So when Dorothy went back to Kansas, she was not the same person. She came back at around the green level into community, where she was able to transform Kansas. She was able to refashion her life experiences because she'd learned lessons from her challenges and misadventures. She'd made new friends and gained new knowledge, which is what we need to do in these times. We might make new friends, or we might get to know our existing friends on a deeper level. There may be occasionally a friend that we need to bless and release because there may be still too much in the red level. We will have gained new knowledge from all of it. It may be knowledge that we were more comfortable without sometimes. You ever sometimes wish you weren't so advanced? It may be knowledge that we want to choose whether to assimilate it or just pretend we don't know it. We may have to choose whether to be comfortable or to make a difference sometimes. So Dorothy's consciousness was changed by her experience in Oz. And so when she returned to Kansas, she brought a new consciousness back with her, a new understanding, and lo and behold, everybody else in Kansas had changed too. Do you remember that part about the ending? When she got back to Kansas, she saw in her neighbors the characters that she had met and loved in Oz. The Cowardly Lion, the Tin Man, the Scarecrow, with their hearts and brains and their courage. They showed up in all the people around her who she had previously dismissed as uninteresting. So we have to take a new consciousness to our relationships and circumstances if we want to continue to evolve and grow. We can't go back. It has been said that nothing is static. We're either expanding or contracting. So we must expand. We must grow in awareness. When she was in Oz, Dorothy met species that were entirely different, right? She learned from species that were radically different in the way they looked, in the way that they acted, in their dress, in their culture. Maybe we should do some more of that. Maybe we could burst out of our cocoons of comfort. What if we not only are open to, but actively seek out and establish relationships with those whose religion is different from ours, whose culture is different from ours, whose skin color is different from ours, whose gender identity is different from ours, whose politics are different from ours? And what if we actually realize that these are all stitches in the sweater of life? And if any of us is broken, we all fall apart. I think a lot, meditate a lot, and I still don't know what I believe about reincarnation and an afterlife. But I do believe that we are evolving as a whole, as the human race, as cultures, and as individuals. And then I believe in order to do that, we are using more than just this physical human experience. What if those of us who are more evolved reach out our hands and connect with those who are just beginning their evolution? Maybe we don't bless and release those difficult friendships. What if we do what we can to bring them along? Because I have a belief, and I don't know where it came from. I don't remember anyone ever saying it, possibly influenced by the Khalil Gibran reading I did during the meditation. But I have a belief that none of us will take the final step, whatever happens after life. None of us will take the final step into nirvana, or heaven, or bliss until we all do. Maybe there is limbo, I don't know. Maybe we have to wait until we all can join hands and knit ourselves up together and take that final step all at once. And then we will be God manifest. Understand? Do you remember the chorus for the rap song? Let us review. I got the power in me, you got the power in you, all the people in the world got the power there too. Would you like to do it? I got the power in me, you got the power in you, all the people in the world got the power there too. I got the wonderful power of understanding. I hear your words even as they're land, and I stop my judging and I open up my mind, and there is always lots of common ground that we can find. This is what I promised at the very least. I'll see you, I'll hear you, I'll love you. Peace. I got the power in me, you got the power in you, all the people in the world got the power there too. Namaste. Yes.
If you've been thinking you're all that you got, then don't feel alone anymore. 'Cause when we're together, then you got a lot. 'Cause I am the river and you are the shore. And it goes on and on, watching the river run further and further from things that we've done, leaving them one by one. And we have just begun, watching the river run, listening, learning, and yearning. Run, river, run. Every heart is wide open, we sing our song, joining together as one. Every heart is wide open as we sing our song, as we join with the sea. And it goes on and on, watching the river run further and further from things that we've done, leaving them one by one. And it has just begun, watching the river run, listening, learning, and yearning. Run, river, run. And it goes on and on, watching the river run further and further from things that we've done, leaving them one by one. And we have just begun, watching the river run, listening, yearning, and yearning. Run, river, run. Ooh, run. Run, river, run.
Wow.
Thank you.
Give it up one more time for the very talented Linda Kidder and Brenda Baird. And thank you, Reverend Patricia, for such a wonderful talk. And now we have a couple of things coming up here at Unity as we go into our summer season. We'll have a picnic coming up in the next few weeks, and we've got a very exciting upcoming fall for you as well that we're working on. So for now, why not join our mastermind prayer group, which actually meets here on Sunday mornings at 10 o'clock. And so in doing that, you'll enjoy the unconditional support of dedicated prayer partners using the easy-to-learn mastermind prayer framework. It has been brought to us that these do produce amazing results for thousands of people at Unity churches around the world. Meetings are downstairs from 10 to 10:30, and we so want you to enjoy that time with us. We also have our weekly Course in Miracles group, which meets on Tuesdays, and all of the information on that can be found at the website, and they meet on Tuesdays downstairs from 12:30 to 2:30. I also wanted to say that it's a pretty special happening in Vancouver. We have the largest convention ever, 44,000 people coming to Vancouver for the 90-year anniversary of the 12-step program. And I only bring it to your attention because I came across a wonderful little blog here that was written by William Hay, and William was a very long-term member here at Unity. But I think it's really important to remember that in the early days of 12 steps, that so much of the original sort of Unity literature were things that were recommended as reading. And so some of those books were Sermon on the Mount by Emmett Fox and The Golden Key by Emmett Fox. So I just thought it was to honor this incredible program that has helped so many people, but there actually is a connection to Unity. So just wanted to say that today. And shout out to everybody who is on their own spiritual journey, however you may find it. Today's affirmative prayer chaplains are Raymond Lancaster, Melba Burns, Kimberly Kyler Lobanich, and on Zoom we have Marina Marcos. And Marina actually speaks Spanish, so if we have Spanish-speaking people, they can go on and have a prayer with Marina. If you would like to receive a confidential prayer or a chaplain, we'll be waiting for you here in the front row after the music. And in case you're wondering, prayer is the spiritual service at Unity, and it is offered free of charge to all. And of course, please remember that the complimentary coffee, tea, cookies, and conversation on the lower level are available to everyone after the service. So now let us bring our gathering to a close, and please stand together and say our prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Please remain standing as we sing our peace song.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joy.
If you are on YouTube, thank you so much for joining us. We send our love and look forward to seeing you next week. If you're on Zoom and want to pray confidentially with a chaplain in a private room, please accept your breakout invitation, which will pop up on the screen shortly. And thank you so much for joining us. See you all next week, and God bless you.